What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Titans Colosseum Podcast. You know who I am and you know who I'm in the building with. Due to technical difficulties, we could not give y'all that fire ass intro. But fellas, what's poppin'?
What's going on? What's going on, man? Hey, we got special guests in the building, man. You know how it goes, man. We got the got enemy lines in here again.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having me, man. I always like talking ball, regardless. Regardless if we enemies or not on the field. You know what I'm saying? Outside of it, everybody's cool people. So, let's go ahead and get it going.
Yeah, for sure, man. As y'all can see, we got our guests in the building. East Coast Gridiron, Dante, man. He holding it down for the Jaguars. But I ain't gonna lie, after this episode right here, they might be trying to run you out of town, man. But I know you is not gonna hold back. But before we get started, y'all make sure y'all head over to Music City Autoplex and holler at my guy Wilson. Check out the amazing line of vehicles he got out there. Go out there, talk to him about the Titans, talk to him about anything, man. But he most definitely gonna get you together when it comes to getting that brand new dream vehicle of yours, man. Head over to MusicCityAutoplex.com. Check out their inventory online. Fellas, let's get to this business, man. Dante. So the Jaguars in 2023, they came out hot. You know, they was coming off of the AFC South title, made an amazing win against the LA Chargers, in which, you know, Trevor Lawrence, he looked horrible at the beginning of the game, but he damn sure finished the game. And then 2023 happened, man. Started off hot, and then the week 18 collapse. Just talk to me about, you know, where you was at in the beginning of the 2023 season versus where you were at the end of the season.
Yeah, man. So unfortunately for, all Jaguars fans, I was right about our record. I didn't think we were going to improve that much. So let's just start there. I don't think we did enough in the draft. I don't know if you guys seen the draft highlights. I lost my mind 2 years in a row, and more so this year, because we just were picking up players that obviously we're trying to cater to Trevor Lawrence and the receiving core. I mean, I don't know why. I wasn't a big fan of bringing Calvin Ridley in because I thought we had great weapons around us. Like, getting rid of Zay Jones was a bigger blow to me than Calvin Ridley. Now you guys got Calvin Ridley in the same division, and usually when that happens, we always see that they're going to take a step up. So, shout out to Calvin and what he did. I just, looking on the other side of the fences, after all the controversy that happened with Calvin Ridley, I just hated to be the first team that took him after that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, do we trust him? Is he going to get himself caught up in another situation? But now he proved himself, and now you guys got a proven commodity. This team just loves Trevor Lawrence from the start. I was not a fan of his. I always constantly ask people, I said, if you switch Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, because that's who I wanted. If you switch them, would Trevor Lawrence elevate the Bears or would they be worse? And a lot of people are hard-pressed to say that they would have gotten better with Trevor Lawrence because he would have gotten killed up there, and Justin Fields' legs saved his life several different times. I think we would be a better team with Justin Fields. I mean, at least both years, we would have at least won one more game. We would have been a 10-win team. And I don't think down the stretch we would have, what would we lose? Like 4 out of 5 games down the stretch and just totally shit the bed. So, yeah, man, I mean, it was up and down. At the beginning, I'm like, okay, Trevor's getting his legs under him. A 300-yard game, 280-yard game here, a couple tuds here and there. But I just, I made a graphic earlier this year when this whole comparison between, I think it was him and Daniel Jones, saying that they were comparable in stats. So then it was Gardner Minshew. One came out around that on like their first 20 starts or something. So then I went back even further. I said, what was it like with Trevor Lawrence versus Blake Bortles? Stats are almost identical. If not, Blake Bortles' stats are a little bit better than what Trevor Lawrence had in a couple different categories. Plus, he took us to an AFC Championship game with Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns being on the same team, and a Leonard Fournette who just never met his talent at all. So, you know, when you look at it, man, I think Travis Etienne should have got the contract that not the contract that obviously Trevor Lawrence got, but for us not to have thrown money at a guy that's had 1,400 yards both seasons. And say what you want about the Chargers game, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this. If it was any other quarterback in the NFL not named Trevor Lawrence on Monday morning of him throwing 4 interceptions, almost 5, because Kyle Van Noy dropped one, they be shitting on him Monday morning. Talking about he almost lost the team the game, blah, 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 blah. The media does not want to be wrong about Trevor Lawrence, so they're going to give every excuse to elevate this man. And it just sounds like I'm shitting on the Jaguars right now, but if you can't tell, being a Jaguars fan sucks, man. It sucks that the Panthers have had more success than we have after the season that they just had, you know, last year and the year before that. We're like the worst ran organization in the NFL. Like at one point, Shad Khan was talking about making the facility into a shopping mall. So yeah, you come watch the team practice and go get suited and booted up with Coach and Chanel being in the same facility as us. The fuck are we doing?
You know your team is bad when they're ready to put shopping centers in the stadium so people can shop during games. Because I don't never want to shop or do anything during a Titans game at all whatsoever. I just want to watch the game. So, bro, that's crazy.
How many times have you seen people at the swimming pool at Everbank Stadium and not paying attention to the game?
Yeah.
You're paying a premium price to swim with 2 or 3 bitches in bikinis. You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty wild, man.
It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I mean, I got friends that Jaguar fans, man, and that, I just be feeling bad for because like whenever y'all start losing, man, they just go silent. Like, they don't say anything. Like, but when y'all win it, man, it's like y'all pop up out that jungle, man, and be talking crazy. I'll be like, where do y'all? Where does it come from? And then as soon as y'all start losing, we don't see y'all anymore. I'll be like, where did the Jag fans go? Like, that's how it's gonna be, and that's how it is in our AFC war zone. Like. Right now, the Houston fans are loud and proud, but I know once they start losing, they're gonna disappear. But like the Titans and Colts fans, we stay pretty consistent. Even we losing or winning, we're gonna still talk trash. But whenever it's the Jags and the Texans, like they disappear when they lose. I don't understand it.
I have a bone to pick with the Colts fans, though. I say the worst fan base is the Colts in the National Football League. They are rude as shit. Like. I was at the Hall of Fame when John Lynch got inducted, and that's the same Hall of Fame that Peyton Manning was there. As soon as Peyton Manning went up and everybody else came on, they're all talking in the crowd, not being quiet, done left, not honoring the other players that, you know, that worked their ass off to get there. It's like, why you pay a ticket just to watch one dude and just bounce out? I mean, I get it. I mean, I was there for John Lynch, but like that was a weekend where we had a doubleheader. Remember that? Because of COVID happened. And they're just rude as shit. Like, I don't have any respect for Colts fans. And then just to add the Andrew Luck shit on top of that, like,
yeah. And
there's no recovering, man.
Out the building, but then acting like, you know, they were justified in booing them, saying, oh, we weren't booing Andrew Luck. We were booing the situation. All right, what the fuck do that sound like, man? Y'all, I know y'all got some type of situational awareness to where this man goes out here, announces his retirement, and y'all sit up and boo. Had it been anybody else doing that, Colts fans would have been all over him. So I definitely get where you're coming from. All my interactions have been cool with Colts fans. That's why when you said rude, I don't know, but then you said what you said, I was like, yeah.
Everybody's got their own personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but when I was at the Combine doing, you know, we got media credential to be at the Combine and a couple other events. Like I'm like when draft season's on, a lot of our fans are like, it's ECG season. Like I'm deep in that shit. But when we was at the Combine, they were pretty cool. I mean, we met a couple fans there, like in their home stadium. But like everybody's cool at their own stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're coming in there as a neutral party, but it's how fans act outside of that when they're outside of their comfort zone and shit. Like, I always think Steelers fans are pretty cool. They get a bad rep, but Steelers fans have always been cool. The Eagles fans suck. I mean, I lived in Philadelphia. They're rude to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you pick and choose. You pick and choose what you want. I hear 49ers fans are terrible, but all the 49ers fans I know are cool ass people. So I mean, it's all about your experience at the end of the day.
What you think about Cowboy fans?
I don't mind Cowboys fans either. The thing about Cowboys fans with me is I think they're just delusional as shit. That's it. I just think they're delusional, and I don't mind a delusional Cowboys is all I root for. I don't watch any other NFL games. I just watch Cowboys games. That's just how they are. But do I think they're like rude or nasty or I just think they just
Yeah,
it's that girlfriend they keep coming back to after they cheated on them 300 times and thinking, oh, it's gonna be different this time. All right, 301 and got their ass busted again.
See that, and that's my thing is with the Cowboys. Like, their fans, like they're so they only watch the Cowboys. You can just tell that they only really watch their team, and that's it. And it's like they'll be overhyping certain players and stuff. Like, I had a guy tell me that Dak Prescott a top 3 quarterback, and I'm like, looking at him what? Top 3? Like, I'm like, nah, man.
I think Dak deserves more respect than what people actually give him, but he's not top 3. No, let's not take it that far. But that's the delusion.
Top 5 quarterback.
Well, he's not better than a lot of people say that he's better than Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts had to deal with a shitty situation last year. I'm like, would you want Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott to take you down the field in the middle of a game? Shit.
That's a hard choice right now. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm taking Jalen Hurts all day. Like, no question.
So, Dante, the Jags off season. I mean, starting with free agency. Let me get your thoughts on it. I mean, do you think y'all had the off season y'all needed? Did you not like the off season, or do you just not feel anything about it?
Well, let's start with the one thing that we needed to do out of everything is there was one guy on this team that needed to be paid, and we got that done. I know his name. Now he changed his name to Hines Allen. Josh Allen. Josh Allen got paid, and deservedly so. I mean, the dude has had one of the quietest edge rushing careers that we've ever seen, and that's me taking my bias out of it. Like, he's never mentioned in the top 5 when he's been the best person on his defense for how long? I mean,
y'all deal with the same problem
ever since he's been drafted.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect him to have the career that he's had. And for him to constantly get overshadowed, like Trayvon Walker, for example, that was the best combine of all time. You can't tell me a dude that was ranked maybe 20th on everybody's big board just shot up to number 1. That was the best combine of all time. And we drank the fucking Kool-Aid. And he hasn't been shit since he's been with us. But this offseason overall, the draft season sucked. I think the free agent season was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I think it was pretty good for what we needed to do. Eric Armstead is obviously going to be an anchor for that defense. He makes everybody else around him. And the dude that's going to obviously benefit from that is Josh Allen. Now he has a legitimate threat on the defense. Roy Robertson Harris, I don't know why we paid him the money that we paid him. Then we go and get Ronald Darby. I'm a Florida State guy, but like Ronald Darby's on his last legs. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do? He's been getting cooked for like 2 straight years now. I really think that we should have gotten a bona fide running back somewhere. Or trade it for one. So like a guy that could be a force up the middle, just on 3rd down. That I think we should did that. We cater way too much to Trevor Lawrence in the wide receiving room. We just got a bunch of number 2 receivers all over the place.
You don't like BTJ?
He's all right, man. He's all right. I don't think he's anything amazing. I think I'm going to surprise you with this though. The best off-season signing on that offense was a guy that was in the same draft class as Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Oh.
I'll tell you why. Here's my spin on it. If you look at across the NFL, the teams that do well are usually loaded in their perspective rooms, like in their positional rooms, especially quarterbacks. Who has been threatening the position of Trevor Lawrence since he's been with the Jaguars? CJ Beathard is not moving the needle and not threatening shit. Whenever you have a guy that's thrusted in not only into the number one role, but not threatened by anybody else that is in that room, it's easy to be mediocre. You know what I'm saying? It's just like at our jobs. You know, if somebody came in bona fide, you know, has the same skill set as you, yeah, it's a little threatening, especially if they come in with that, you know, that little spark. Or let's say a guy that you worked with before and he excelled at his other job and then came to your new job. Yeah, you would be a little threatened. That's Mac Jones for Trevor Lawrence. Like, Mac Jones knows that he's still got a little bit left in the tank. He just came from a place where they were very structured and he got pulled and yanked out a couple times. So he's not going to be scared to get yanked if he's doing bad, if Trevor Lawrence, you know, is doing terrible and he gets put in the game. Like, he's really got nothing to lose. And with that mentality that he's going to have is going to threaten Trevor Lawrence. Like, I heard in OTAs and I seen some of the footage, Mac Jones looked better than Trevor Lawrence. And he looked like he had more chemistry with a lot of those guys. And what's crazy is Travis Etienne is on the same team. So you want to talk about the Jaguars catering to a guy? We're going to get you wide receivers. We're going to draft your buddy from Clemson that's been saving your ass since he's been here. And we're not going to pay him, but he's still there just to add a little bit more comfort for the situation. It's, you know, it's just stuff like that to me. It's like, yes, you can have all the wide receivers in the world. With a mediocre quarterback, like I've been saying since day one when everybody told me he was generational. Then you have Travis Etienne there, who proved me wrong and has been a 1,400 yard back, total yard back since he's been here. And then we get, Foye Oluokun, who's one of the best linebackers in the league, always like top 5, top 10 in tackles, but they don't build around it. Ventrell Miller's not moving the needle for Foye Oluokun, Chad Muma is not moving the needle for Devin Lloyd. He doesn't have a veteran that's in that linebacker room playing, strong side linebacker or, inside linebacker there. Devon Hamilton hadn't done shit since he's been with us. And then what do? We go get the 2 defensive linemen, Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith from LSU. Well, Mekhi Wingo was the best lineman at LSU last year. It's like, that shit blew my mind. We go and get Mason Smith and then Jordan Jefferson and then Mekhi Wingo gets picked up later. I'm like, this is absolutely like, how do we fumble this many times for 2 years straight and everybody's still giving the same excuse to Trevor Lawrence? It's okay. You had Urban Meyer as your coach. Who the fuck did Justin Herbert have at the Chargers? And he's been balling out. There was never an excuse for Justin Herbert when he's got the damn head coach that's been taking their team for 3 years straight. But Trevor Lawrence gets the excuse and might as well gets paid top money, tied number 1 in the league. I know Justin Herbert got paid and rightfully so. But this shit is just like, it's hard for me to be a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have, like my wife's a Steelers fan. You go into that draft and you're like, we're going to get offensive line to build around Justin Fields. We know Russell Wilson's here. He's going to be able to teach him. They kind of got the same skill set. Oh, shit, let's go get Roman Wilson from Michigan, who's a great wide receiver that goes out of his way for J.J. McCarthy his whole career. And they just keep building from there. They're going to get Peyton Wilson from NC State, who was one of the best linebackers. Like, that's how you build a team. So the teams that are good, that have really good organizations, always get better. And then I look at the Titans and what y'all been doing in the offseason, and I'm like, we're not going to be good. I mean, it's the Colts got better, you guys got better, and the Texans, I know we talked about it a little bit, like the Texans are the team to beat right now, just talent-wise. Like, all of us feel a little like, they got to prove it the second year around, having a first-year head coach. We'll see if they can do it again. But that doesn't take away the fact that, like, they kicked everybody's ass last year, and the only reason that they weren't in a Super Bowl was because of youth. Let's just call it what it is. Youth and Tank Dell got hurt.
Ravens. They never beat the Ravens.
Oh well, that too. Yeah, and the Ravens got hot at the right time, but the Colts are one quarterback away. I don't think it's Anthony Richardson, but the talent on that team is fucking deep as well, and they got Shane Steichen as their head coach, who's an offensive guru. And then you look at you guys, and it's like, man, if anybody pulled the trigger and needed to at the time and had nothing to lose, was Will Levis. And he was the hardest one to evaluate, and nobody was taking away the fact that he had amazing arm talent. And can he just put it together now? And I'm a big Tyjae Spears fan. So when Derrick Henry got let go, I was like, Tyjae Spears, they believe in him. And he's going to be a beast for y'all. Then you go and get Calvin Ridley. That's the worst thing to happen. Trade with, pick up somebody that's within the division to go and kick, the other team's ass, which is us, twice a year, and make them pay for it. Because you know what him and Calvin Ridley and Will Levis are doing right now? They in the film room, they getting right, they getting tight. And that's going to be some scary shit. I don't know, man. I know it sounds like I'm shitting all over my team, but it's like, I just don't see Gabe Davis moving the needle for us.
When you know.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that I've told you the same stuff that you saying right now about the Jaguars. I've told them over and over and over and over again.
Paintball man, don't mind.
Man, he is Texans fan.
I know it always seems like any show I go on to.
They can't.
I've been saying this for years, bro.
Getting better. I don't understand. Like Texas, they want us to win 5 games and be done. Like, no, bro, we're going to compete with you. I don't understand why you keep believing this. Like, they living in a fantasy land. I don't get it, man. I mean, we got L'Jarius Sneed, we got Tony Pollard, we got freaking Tyler Boyd, and we got Calvin Ridley, like, and we got Latham on the O-line. Like, bro, we gonna compete with y'all. I don't get why they don't believe it.
Well, you got guys that have something to prove. Like, Gabe Davis is not proving shit. Mm-hmm. He's not. Parker Washington, we drafted him, and he just took a back seat to fucking Brian Thomas Jr. Mm-hmm. I want to see him play. Like, did people not watch what he did at Penn State when he had Sean Clifford as his quarterback? Like, how is this not computing? Like, I don't understand. I'm not an NFL coach or scout, even though I just finished scout school in February, so I could toot my own horn a little bit there. But the thing is like, Parker Washington, you're not letting him get a chance to prove himself. It's like, you know what the Jaguars are like? They just want immediate success, like right now. And so they'll go out and get any player that showed a little bit of spark somewhere and think that he's going to be able to turn the fence for us. When it's you build, and stay patient. Shad Khan doesn't want to do that. Now you got Doug Peterson, who's a quarterback guy, that you won't let him be a great coach. You won't let him be he's a Super Bowl winning coach. And I don't think Trent Baalke listens to him and what he needs. Like, you can't tell me that both of these guys agree. Like, during the draft process, like, if you go and watch a Jaguars video, every time they drafted somebody, like Jordan Jefferson and the Mason Smith one, it just doesn't look like Doug Peterson was, like, super excited about any of that shit. Now, Brian Thomas Jr., maybe you're just banking on the LSU wide receiver thing. Maybe the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase thing can happen with Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. Maybe. They got a long history. But it's just like how I feel about Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't care what anybody says. I don't go by history. I go by what's on film right now. I don't care that the Ohio State Buckeyes have had a long history of bad quarterbacks. One of them dudes is bound to be good. And people act like that there's a school that just creates fucking bionic superhumans all the time. It doesn't happen. But where did Josh Allen go to school, the quarterback for the Bills? Where did he go to school? Fucking Wyoming. Are they known for quarterbacks? No. He just so happened to be the most talented guy to come out of Wyoming. Just is what it is. If you can play, you can play. I don't know. The talent evaluation with us just sucks. We want overnight success, and we don't, we'll never get it. To just not improve your second year after going to the playoffs with a guy that just got the contract that he got, we are awarding mediocrity, and it's horrible. And you know what? The Titans are seeing that. The Texans are seeing that. The Colts are seeing that. Oh, you just made Trevor Lawrence the number one quarterback, tied for the number one quarterback. Your DB room my DB, the Colts DB room, the Texas DB room, if Derek Stingley Jr. can stay healthy a whole season, he's going to pick off Trevor Lawrence about fucking 6 times.
Yeah, he's a damn good corner, man. His only problem is staying healthy. But Dante, I got a question for you because this is something I've been wanting to ask a legitimate Jaguars fan. Because Sean, your owner Sean Khan, he made a comment about last season, and he said it was an organizational failure. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, this has been the Jaguars ever since they pretty much came into the league. I know y'all had some, early success, but then all of those years of, the single digit wins and, the high draft picks, I was like, and every time y'all, get over that hump, it's only for like a season. So I just want to ask you, like, what's going on with the Jets? Why can they sustain a consistent winning, a consistent history of winning? I mean,
well, history repeats itself, right? So let's go back to a time where we were looking hopeful. So Mark Brunell leaves, and carries on, and you got the wide receiving Keenan McCardell, he leaves, and you're getting Fred Taylor, that's kind of what they used to call him, fractured Freddie, you already fragile Freddie, all that shit. And then we go and pick up Maurice Jones-Drew from UCLA, and by all regards, Maurice Jones-Drew was a dog. You know what I'm saying? And so, who is the next quarterback to step up in place? Was David Garrard. David Garrard comes in half that season, and things are looking hopeful. But what do the Jaguars do? This is the first time history did the same shit. We go and pick up Byron Leftwich Jr., or Byron Leftwich, who everybody thought was going to be the next coming of fucking Peyton Manning. I still remember that shit to this day. They thought he was going to be the black version of Peyton Manning. Oh, he's such a good pocket quarterback, blah, 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 blah. All this other shit, and he was trash. He always got hurt. He couldn't throw a ball more than 20 yards at a time. And David Garrard got the shaft when he should have been our long-term quarterback for at least 5 years. And then what do we do after that? So if you go a couple years later, we go get homie from Missouri. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Not Blake Bortles, but
Chad Henne?
No, not Chad Henne. He played in Missouri. Blonde-headed dude from Blaine Gabbert. We're going to go get Blaine Gabbert, right? Thinking that he was going to be the hero. Didn't work out. So we go and we did the reverse. We go and go pick up Blake Bortles, who was serviceable. Okay? He did what he was supposed to do. I didn't mind it. He was a David Garrard. Then what do? 2017, go to the AFC Championship game. Then we decide to go and hire Tom Coughlin's old ass to come change the culture, and we ship everybody out. Marcel Darius. I mean, the list just goes on. Well, Telvin Smith got himself into that was nasty work what he did. As a Florida State fan, everybody feared Telvin Smith. He was a small linebacker that was zipping around the field. One of my favorite players to watch. Then, what's his name retired? Paul Puslesny retired after that because he was passing the torch to Telvin Smith, and then Telvin Smith did what he did. AJ Boye got shipped out. Then, the 2 draft picks for Jalen Ramsey happened, and then Ronnie Harrison went to the Browns, and, we had Calais Campbell. Like, listen to all these names I'm naming. Like, these dudes were some fucking dogs. And and Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson had a 1,000-yard season. Then what do? Allen Hurns went to the Cowboys. Allen Robinson got shipped out too. It's like the history of this team just repeats itself. You have a good season, ship everybody out. Then you go and get who y'all think is going to be this bona fide quarterback, and it never happens. It's just like, why don't you just let the pieces fall where they may? There should have been no reason why we shipped all those players out. I mean, who goes to the AFC Championship game or any championship game in their respective conference, and then you guys just ship all your players away? Let the Titans do that shit. y'all be losing your fucking minds right now.
We did do it.
Yeah. So you feel my pain. It's like why? You could have restructured some contracts. Every player wants to win. Every player wants to win. That's why Tom Brady was so great, because he restructured his contract. And then he made people great. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, if there was a Madden slider for team influence, Tom Brady's would be at like a 200 because there's no way that this dude made so many good players. But, you know, he's a special breed. Not saying that Blake Bortles could have been that, or Leonard Fournette eventually could have been that, or even Calvin Ridley if we would have just kept him another year. Who said that this dude couldn't put up 1,800 yards on somebody? That dude may put up 1,800 yards with y'all. I mean,
look, I look at it like this, man. Like, that, all I've heard from Jaguar fans that he dropped like this many amount of touchdowns, and he's just this bad receiver, blah blah blah. And I'm looking at it like, I mean, I go back and look at the film, like, I mean, the man was gone for 2 years. Like, people got to realize the man was rusty, man. It was his first season back. You know what I'm saying? He got 1,000 yards after 2 seasons after being out of the league, man. Like, people not putting that in perspective, man. Yes, he did drop the ball. I'm not denying it. His stats could have been way better than what they was. But to act like, you know, he can't just come back this season and fix the mistakes that he made from last season, it's just blasphemy to me. But I mean,
well, that comes down to game planning too. Like, your offensive coordinator is supposed to know this stuff. Like, I hate when people totally reject game planning, and I hate when people totally reject anything where it comes to statistics or analytics too. Like, it should be a marriage of two. Like, analytics are going to show you by the numbers what you're good at, and then it's then you got to have your coordinators that's be able to put those people in positions. Now, if Calvin Ridley was one of the worst people in the red zone, then one of the best players in the red zone was Zay Jones. So why didn't we have plays that targeted him, and then had Calvin Ridley just open up the rest of the field? Because he was one of the best over the middle of the field, open it up as far as yak and things were concerned. Like, he was an absolute beast. Or like Zay Jones, we did a beautiful thing with him is on third down, he was always a safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence. That's what the analytics told you. And then you get rid of those players because you don't want to game plan the right way, or Trevor Lawrence does, he sees a guy open knowing that the guy's not going to catch it when he could have just checked it down to, Travis Etienne within 5 yards and he could have ran it in for a touchdown. It's like, I don't know what guys are doing. Of course, none of us are NFL players or NFL coaches, but it's just like, we're playing keyboard quarterback, and this is the type of stuff that we see. What is the one thing that we always judge players on outside of the film is stats. So why do teams not consider that? And in some aspects, it drives me crazy. I mean, on third down, it seems like whoever defensive coordinators are in the NFL, they're the smartest. Because on third down, if some dude is going to, there's 3rd and 1 and this team needs to convert and they need to put points up on you, you best believe, regardless if they're tired or not, all the best defensive players are going to go out there and make sure that they're making an impact. Why don't we do that as offensive minds too? It doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I think that's, I have no answer. I'm not within those 4 walls, but I think it just goes back to the basics too. Owners are supposed to put people in the front office to help them run the company. It's as simple as that. Front office people are there to hire coaches and the GM. The GM has to work with the owner and the head coach. The GM's job is to work with the head coach to get the players that he wants on the team, not the other way around. And it seems like Trent Baalke's doing the opposite. Fuck it, he's the best guy on the market. Let me go get him. We don't necessarily need Gabe Davis because he's going to give us the same thing that Calvin Ridley did. He's not a good red zone threat. And he's an even worse receiver overall. I like Gabe Davis, but what he did with the Bills is not going to be with the Jaguars. You know what I'm saying? Neither does Trevor Lawrence had the arm of a damn Josh Allen either.
Yeah, he has an injury history as well. But Dante, we already know who has the most to prove when it comes to the Jaguars in 2024. It's the man with the big contract, Trevor Lawrence. But outside of Trevor Lawrence, who are 3 players with the most to prove?
Man, that's a great question. I'm gonna say this one just based off of consistency, because we do this a lot, right? We as we were talking about with the quarterbacks, we overshadow other players that have performed well. Christian Kirk, does he take a back seat because they brought Brian Thomas Jr. in and he feels a little disrespected? Because that is the news out in Jacksonville. Woo! Number 1 receiver now, Brian Thomas Jr. He's not fucking Malik Neighbors. So we need to stop treating this dude like he was supposed to be a number 1 receiver, because in any other draft, he would have been chosen in the 3rd or 4th round. Let's be real. Christian Kirk is our number 1 guy. So can he stay consistent and ignore the noise? Cam Robinson. I don't know why we got rid of Jawan Taylor last year for him just to become a Super Bowl champion. Now I get it. Jawan Taylor did have some up and downs with the Chiefs, but he cleaned it up towards the end of the season, and everybody else on that team, and the Chiefs won another Super Bowl. Cam Robinson got in trouble, for taking PEDs at the beginning of the season as we shipped Jawan Taylor out. And I've been saying Jawan Taylor was the most improved offensive lineman, but we keep Cam Robinson and give him a contract. So he's just off of principle has got a lot to prove. Can you not get in trouble and be consistent as Jawan Taylor was last year because we just paid you a contract? And then probably the biggest one, and I'm sure you guys are going to agree with this, is Trayvon Walker. No. There's been some big shit talk from Eric Armstead being a great teammate, thinking that, he already came out and said his potential, he could probably be the best edge rusher. That's great. That's what a veteran is supposed to do, come in there and hype up our players.
Yeah, but, man, I've got Corey. He a Georgia Bulldog fan, man, and hey, he gonna stick up for his dogs regardless.
Man, y'all not using him right, man.
Nah, Trayvon is his work. He's been so fucking lazy on the left side of the field. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I literally seen this man just stand up on a couple reps, like on film. I'm like, what is he doing? Is he gonna drop back in coverage, or is he gonna rush the quarterback? That's what I'm saying. We got fucking fooled in that damn combine. This is the best combine of all time because he pulled the wool right over our eyes. I mean, I'm going to throw an honorable mention in there, and it's not because he's playing bad. I just think if he takes a step up, him and Foye Oluokun could probably be the best, inside linebacking core in a 3-4 defense. Devin Lloyd, man. I mean, Devin Lloyd has been an absolute dog, and he never gets talked about. I mean, we talk about Trayvon Walker because he was the number 1 overall pick, but I don't think Devin Lloyd gets his flowers as much as people think he should. So I think those are the guys right there. I mean, Tyson Campbell's probably an easy pick. Can he keep up the consistency of how well he was last year? I mean, he had some moments that got a little off kilter, but Tyson Campbell made a huge step last year. I know he gave y'all some fits last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he most definitely did. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that right now.
I always think, Andre Sisco's a really good free safety. I've always liked Andre Sisco out of Syracuse. But I mean, outside of that, man, can Logan Cook ever get us a damn coffin corner punt every once in a while? That would be nice. Instead of putting people in good field position. I know we got Devin Duvernay to fill in for Jamal Agnew. I mean, can he stay healthy enough? Because he's pretty good in kick return. So I think when you look at each positional group, man, to be honest, it's like there's question mark. But if I was to answer a question that hasn't been asked yet is, who's kind of a winner that we've had over the last 2 years? Evan Ingram has been getting disrespected in tight end list for 2 years straight now. I'm very surprised of how good of a tight end he's actually has been. So, if I got to give anybody his flowers, it's probably him. And they've been trying to replace him with Brenton Strange and, all these other tight ends. And it's like, just give him his flowers because he was hurt and inconsistent with Daniel Jones. Then came into Jaguars and had a resurgence to his career. So, as long as he can stay healthy, he'll be a pretty bright spot for Trevor Lawrence too. And thank God, Trevor Lawrence need to thank his fucking lucky stars that Evan Ingram is not the drop seed type of tight end that he was with the Giants. I mean, right. He's a beast.
Man, Trevor Lawrence, he most definitely got weapons around him, man. But what do you feel like is Trevor Lawrence's biggest flaw in his game? And also, too, 2024 coming up, we're looking for him to have that season that, you know, everybody has been looking for, that season that, you know, says that he's the generational talent that we thought he was going to have. What would that season look like stat-wise?
For us to be like, oh shit, yeah, he was worth that contract. Because I don't think. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because I don't. You know, I'll always say this when it really comes down to it. At the end of the day, it's always a team sport, so it's not just Trevor Lawrence's fault. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Even though everybody makes it seem like that, or you know, people on your team, like people are gonna say, "Oh, Will Levis played like shit the last 3 games," but it's like it's not a Will Levis issue. It's a team issue, and you guys got rid of the people that you got rid of. But if it had to be defined by stats for him, taking the record away, I would say he's definitely got to get over 4,800 yards because I think the century mark for a quarterback now with 17 games played is 4,800 yards. It used to be like 45, but it's around 4,800. If you're not reaching the 4,800 to 5,000 mark, outside of people like, you know, of course, Patrick Mahomes, because he keeps winning the Super Bowl, so it doesn't really matter what his fucking stats are at the end of the day, I don't think anymore. But 4,800 yards of the 5,000 yards, he needs to be within there. And I think probably the century mark for touchdowns for him needs to be over 35. And if he can consistently do that, like over the next 2 seasons, I'd be like, all right, you know, shit. Because I don't think we have a bona fide number 1 receiver yet. You know, and if we get, let's say if we were to get like a Justin Jefferson or somebody like that, or Jamar Chase, or like a bona fide number 1 receiver, if he's generational, he should be throwing 5,200 yards and 42 touchdowns a year, like just off principle. But that I think, you know, 4,800 yards and 35 touchdowns, I'd start turning the leaf on Trevor Lawrence. But also that comes with, you know, he's one of the quarterbacks that fumbles the most in the NFL too. So you got to throw that in there. He's got to severely knock those down because I think he had like 8 or 9 last year. Get it under like 2 or 3. I'll be okay with that. Then you head over to interceptions because that matters too. If you could stay within like that 5 range, because you do play in the NFL, if he's around like 4 or 5 interceptions a year, maybe 6, I'll allow that depending on the stats. I'd be like, all right, Trevor Lawrence, you might be worth that fucking money because it, you know. I'll put it like this too. When you have those type of stats, and if the team sucks, you've done everything in your power to make sure that you were supposed to put a W in the win column, right? Stats help out with winning. It just is what it is. And people tend to ignore that. Oh, yeah, he could throw 5,000 yards and blah, 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 blah. But did your quarterback do enough to get you closer to getting a W? Yes. Then it's not his fault. It's everybody else's fault. That's always the easy excuse, you know? So that's how I look at college football. That's how you look at any sport. There should be no reason why LeBron James is scoring 35, 40 points a game and the Lakers are losing. Like, so, you know, regardless if you hate the dude or not, he did his job as a basketball player. So.
No, yeah, I most definitely agree with you there. And I was just looking at Tua's number because you said around 4,800 yards look good for Trevor Lawrence. Tua had 4,624 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions last season. Now, granted, you know, they had one of the best wide receivers in the game, but I don't think that I really don't think that Trevor Lawrence should be, you know, under 4,500 yards. I give him 4,500 yards. He shouldn't be under that right there. Now, the touchdown to interception ratio, I would give him, he's got to go over 25, in my opinion. 27, okay, I can deal with that. If it's 27 to, 6 or 7 interceptions, I'm cool with that. But if it's under 25 and he's got like over 10 interceptions, it's a problem.
Well, here's the only problem with that, and I agree with you. I think that's a very solid season. You're a great quarterback. That's the Justin Herberts, the Josh Allens of the world. They're putting out those type of numbers, right? But the thing that those quarterbacks don't have is the generation title that everybody put on Trevor Lawrence. So he should, in my expectations and for everybody's expectations of watching the maturation process of Trevor Lawrence and when he came out of college, he should be exceeding those numbers. Like, it shouldn't even be a question. We should, at this point in time, in year 4, with the contract that he got, if I was to take the contract and put that situation and we talk 20 years from now, you never knew who Trevor Lawrence was. If I was to tell my future son or daughter this, like, this is this is the contract that Trevor Lawrence got, what do you think his statistics were? Oh, he must have been fucking amazing. He probably won a Super Bowl, blah, 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 all this other shit. But it's been Blake Bortles-ish. That to me, that is ridiculous with the generation tag that he has. Like, you should be making our team much, much better week to week to week. And we're constantly going down to the wire or losing against teams that we shouldn't, or only winning 1 game out of the 4, which we only needed 1 more win to be 1 win better than we were the previous season. And by all accounts, you were the reason why we shit the bed several times. That's not generational to me, man. Generational talent should be the ones that are keeping you in the game. Now, I'm sure if we walked out at, let's say the Titans played them twice and it came down to 37-38 was the score, and Trevor Lawrence accounted for all of the touchdowns in both of those games, all of us up here would be like, Trevor Lawrence is a shit. He wasn't the reason why the Jaguars lost. Defense, Travis Etienne, maybe a receiver dropping the pass here and there after you put it on the money. But so many people are so fixated with some of the throws that he does make. But I see right past that shit. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence can make an amazing throw, and we've all seen it. We've all seen him put in like, God damn, Trevor, can we see that more consistently? But that's the key word here is consistency. You can't make 1 great pass and throw 10 shitty passes with the interception in that same span. But people on Monday morning that are not us will say that Trevor Lawrence is still awesome and give every excuse of why he made 10 shitty passes in a row. But then, Justin Herbert at the end of the season can play with broken ribs and doesn't get an excuse in the world of why, he's the reason why the Chargers are losing and have, pretty good stats down the road. I always defend, I wasn't even a Justin Herbert fan, but it's like, I can't help but to compare the two situations, man. It's like a guy that's played incredible. They come and say that it was his fault and the coach's fault. But with Trevor Lawrence, he's played shitty. Like, Justin Herbert's numbers should be Trevor Lawrence's numbers by the way that we've been talking about this guy.
So I got a question. Where exactly do you have the Jaguars finishing? Well, I'll say record-wise and in the division.
This coming year?
Yeah, this coming season.
I think we give our final predictions here in 2 weeks, but I'll give you guys a little sneak peek from the schedule that we have this year. And we play the NFC North is our NFC team. And then we got to play the Philadelphia Eagles, the Raiders down the stretch. I think the last 3 games of the season are what's going to define our season, because Vegas is not a joke. I mean, they're not. You guys are not a joke. Indianapolis, like, that's actually the last 6 games after the bye week. Houston, you guys, the Jets, Las Vegas, back to, against you guys at home. Or, we play y'all at home, and then the Colts. Like, I literally think we're going to have a worse year. I think we're going to be 1 game worse. I think 8-9, and I think we split with. I'll give us this. We'll split with the Colts, but against
gonna split with the Colts.
It always seems to happen like that with us, though. So I'll throw them
at home.
Yeah, so I'll say we split with the Colts, and then you guys in Houston sweep us. So we have 1 win in the division.
Now, I was thinking to sweep against the Jags, but I just can't confidently say that because with the Titans and the Jags, we always exchanging games ourselves. We've been going back and forth, splitting with each other. if I say anybody, and for the Titans too, if I say anybody who's going to sweep us, I think it'll obviously be the Texans. I just can't see the Colts sweeping either the Titans or the Jaguars this season.
Yeah, it all comes down to health because I think healthy, the Houston Texans, we talked about this, are the best team. You guys are the biggest question mark outside of us, but I don't know, man. I honestly think y'all's defense is all around better than ours, and that's what's going to keep you in a lot of these games this year. And then the Colts,
a lot of people are asleep on our defense, man. And I think people are laughing at us adding Jamal Adams in there. I like the pickup, man. If we're gonna run, say we've got a dime set with 3 safeties, out there, man, and we can have Elijah Molden, Monty Hooker, and Jamal Adams in the box. You know what I'm saying? Playing that box, the sub. I guess we could put him as sub linebacker. You know what I'm saying? And have him playing in that box, man. That's exactly where I want him.
I want to see how we respond 4 games before the bye week because this shit is a gauntlet too.
Outside of you guys, bye week is on week 5 too.
It's week 12. But I'm saying the 4 games before this, we played the Packers, the Eagles, the Vikings, and Detroit. So fucking NFC gauntlet. How do we respond the week after that going into another gauntlet? Like, I don't know what our strength of schedule is. I don't like looking at that stuff, but now it makes more sense knowing everybody's got their draft picks. Everybody's got pretty much all the free agencies that they want. Like, we're not winning against Green Bay. We're not winning against the Eagles. We're not winning against Detroit at their full strength. We'll pull one out over the Vikings because I think the Vikings they suck and they've been in the news so much lately.
I wouldn't write off the Eagles though, because the Eagles, I mean, shoot.
On paper, the Eagles are crazy.
But you know about they collapse at the end of last season. I mean, it was honestly funnier than the Jaguars collapse and the Titans.
They couldn't tackle
because they had all these Super Bowl expectations, and then you get to Sunday, they out there in a dog fight with the Cardinals. They getting whooped by the Giants. I mean, it was just all out foolishness, and then they got ran out the playoff by Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I know, man. I know it's crazy. I just think we got the last 10 games of the season are I don't see us surviving a lot through that. We'll squeak out a win here and there, but I just got you guys and the Texans sweeping us. I don't see how we make it past y'all this year. And I'm just gonna be sitting on my couch laughing at the fact that we threw all this money at Trevor Lawrence, that we're building a new fucking stadium. Like, to me, it's like sour grapes, man. It's like you award this dude for being mid, then you award the city for being fucking mediocre too with a new stadium. Like, nothing is there. It's not earned with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is ever earned. And I don't feel a lot of other fans are like, yeah, we're going to have a great stadium, blah, 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 blah. We paid Trevor Lawrence. I'm not delusional. And I just don't feel it's bittersweet. And it's more bitter than it is sweet. I mean, I just don't feel good about the direction that we're going. And I don't see Shad Khan being our owner in the next 5 years if this shit continues down the way it is. Because to say that it was an organizational failure, I mean, yeah, I agree to that at some point because you got money flowing in here and there and just willy-nilly getting thrown around. But then we're building a new stadium for what? The Panthers have been to 2 fucking Super Bowls, and they're in the same expansion year as us. They should be getting a new stadium. Our stadium's fine. Bank of America Stadium is a fucking shithole. And they don't get awarded for making it to 2 Super Bowls. But one of the worst coaches, I don't care what anybody says, love Ron Rivera, but he's one of the worst coaches of all time. He had 5 winning seasons out of the 13 that he was a coach. That's ridiculous. Yeah, we suck, man. We love sucking. I mean, we used to call ourselves Saxonville. We Sucksonville, bro. Sucksonville suck wires, bro. We suck.
Man, we can definitely relate, man. But man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up for the night. Dante, it's been a pleasure having you. Tell the people what you got going on, man, and where they can find you at.
I always tell people, man, I'm never one to ask for a like or subscribe or anything like that. But if you guys just Google East Coast Gridiron, we're pretty much everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube. We do a lot of stuff, around the draft, do a lot of film studies. I've been helping a lot of high school guys trying to get their film reviewed by colleges and stuff like that. So I like to think our channel goes a little bit deeper than, we're trying not to be biased about any team. I was thinking about starting a Jaguars channel for the longest time, but I just can't. I'm sure people would hate. I'd be the most hated Jaguars fan out there. But at the end of the day, real fans like you and I, we were able to be critical of our team. And that, that's because we love the team so much that we want them to make the right decisions, and not just have the easy road out every single time. Like the best Super Bowl wins and the best wins overall are wins like when the Chiefs won the first time with Patrick Mahomes after years of being so bad, and being a classic team that never won a Super Bowl. They finally got the quarterback that they were able to sit him behind Alex Smith and build him up to be the superstar that he is. That's what we wish for all of our teams, man. And y'all got that by all accounts. You guys, to me, are ahead of the curve with Will Levis. You got a guy that you guys believe in, who's taking a back seat, who stopped the weird shit. And I've seen it, man. He's out there in Florida and California working his ass off right now.
Yeah,
so,
man. Like, one thing I said about Levis, man, like he most definitely, man, he work hard, man. That's one thing about him. Like you see, I'm over here looking at CJ Stroud. He at every party possible while Will Levis is working his tail off, man. You see, he at every practice and took his team to Cabo to go work out. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see him in the cameras, man. All I see is work every time they show him, man. And I'm excited, man. He really believes that he can win with this franchise, man. And
I like Anthony Richardson too. Like personally, I think he's a good kid. I think he's got a great head on his shoulders, and I think he's talented. But that dude didn't even win at Florida. He's got all the talent in the world, but I don't see him ever winning with the Colts. But doesn't change the fact that I think he seems like a really good guy. Like great teammate and all that stuff. But, with Will Levis, I think he's just starting to turn the corner for you guys, like starting to get out of the media and just working his ass off because he had a big target on his back when he came in. You know what I'm saying? And now that shit has subsided. And now I'm actually excited to watch you guys this year. I wish you guys had changed your jerseys because I think you guys took a step back when Nike fucked you guys up and making them dark blue helmets. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I liked it, man. That's my hey, I like them mugs, man.
Hey, as long as y'all like them, I don't have to like them. You know what I'm saying?
I think all the fans, man, and I like I said, all the fans, man, we pretty much somewhat agree that we would like to have a Houston Oilers / Titan mixture of the uniforms. You know what I'm saying? To kind of have a little Oilers, some of our Oilers history in there as well, because we got a lot of fans, and Firestone being one of them that were Oilers fans before they became Titan fans. You know what I'm saying? So
OG.
My favorite jersey combination, and it was just something when you guys had Marcus Mariota, he make that shit look good with that number 8 with the baby blue tops and the white pants with the white helmets with the dark face mask. I'll always go to that picture. Like I had that picture saved somewhere of Marcus Mariota wearing that shit. I was like, damn, this shit looks good. And then you guys got rid of it. I was like, fuck. That was one of my favorite jerseys.
And that kind of brought me back to the days of Fred Taylor, man. Seeing him out there, in that all black and him and Maurice Jones-Drew. I was like, man, look, man, I'm supposed to.
It was the black hole with this, man.
I cannot hate on those two right there, man.
Hey, y'all think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Hell yeah.
I think Eddie George should be in too, but I always say this. Fred Taylor, before he got hurt against Baltimore, was the only running back during that Baltimore defense when they were good to almost put up 200 yards. He put up like 196. And Ray Lewis said he remembers that shit. He was like, that's the only running back that fucked us up in the run game. That itself should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for sure, man. But like I said, man, appreciate you having you on, Dante. We're going to most definitely do this again during the season. Hopefully by the time the Titans see Jacksonville, man, it's going to be worth something. Hopefully both teams, have something to fight for, man. But, hey, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about us, blah, blah, blah. this, that, and the third. If you need a vehicle, go down to Music City Autoplex and holler at Wilson. Tell him the Titans Colosseum sent you. He gonna take great care of you. Shout out to LionsDenBeerCollection.com. Shout out to Sunny Smiles Coffee and all our amazing sponsors. Hey, we gonna do this again Friday. I ain't gonna do it with y'all. Spoiler alert, y'all. I'm not gonna be here Friday because I'm going out of town. I hate to have to tell y'all that on the stream, but hey, I had to go ahead and get it out there. But anyway, everybody enjoy your week and tighten the fuck up. Let's